Russia is a country without foreign policy at the moment. Russia is engaged in a brutal war, definitely the worst event in Europe since 1945, the war in Ukraine. Frankly, it's impossible to interpret this in rational terms. There is no chance in hell Russia could win this war, no matter how you define victory. I'll give you a few scenarios. So, number one, let's say Mr. Putin installs a puppet government for Ukraine in Ukraine, right? You know, pro-Russian. And of course, Russia will be able to keep that government, that legislature, the puppet government safe, right? Okay, so we're talking about, you know, that government quarter surrounded by Russian troops, occupied by Russian troops, guarded by Russian, I don't know, Air Force, Space Force, whatever. Sure, you can keep this government in place for, if you want to, for 300 more years, and right, doesn't mean anything. So, well, another option is to keep the vital centers of Ukraine under occupation, even when Russians seize them. I'm talking about the capital area, Kiev. I'm talking about the #2 city in the country, Kharkiv. Of course, the coast of the Sea of Azov, the Black Sea. Okay, sure. Well, the Ukrainians are fighting heroically and efficiently, but well, Russia clearly, you know, they have the army of 900,000 people, and they can mobilize more. So theoretically, yes, Putin could put that, you know, occupational force in Ukraine permanently. Well, for the next few days, weeks, months, years, decades. You know what? By very conservative estimate, to make that occupation possible, he will need 500,000 soldiers. Well, that's, well, clearly it's a huge strain on the country and the economy, but Ukrainian resistance. Ukrainian resistance now, already now, heavily relies on the tactics of urban guerrilla warfare, underground warfare, right? So any nation, any hostile nation trying to occupy Ukraine, it will pay dearly. Actually, the Germans learned that the hard way during World War II. So if Putin puts, you know, those vital centers of Ukraine under permanent occupation, the number of zinc coffins reaching their families in Russia will be immense. Well, another scenario, let's say that Mr. Putin gets less ambitious. What he could have in mind, he could expand the territory of the so-called People's Republics of Donetsk and Luhansk, right? And also, he will be very tempted to keep the coast of the Sea of Azov and parts of the Black Sea coast of Ukraine, with the cities of Kherson, Nikolaev, Mariupol, that would, and in the east, the Sea of Azov, that would allow him to maintain a land bridge between the annexed Crimea and mainland Russia. Okay, so let's say he, quote unquote, limits his appetite. So he does not need 500,000 people as an occupying force. Likely he needs, well, at least 100,000. Okay, same story. Resistance, casualties, and no matter how long Russian troops stay there, 5 years, 50 years, this war will never stop. So I'm sorry, but there is no way Russia could win this war.